Do you ever wake up with that tingling, pins and needles feeling in your feet? Or find yourself struggling with a persistent numbness that just won't go away, making every step feel uncertain? It's a common complaint as we get a little older, and it can be incredibly frustrating, even debilitating. You might wonder what's causing it, or if there's anything you can do to find relief. Many people, perhaps even you, faithfully eat what they believe are healthy foods, diligently trying to nourish their bodies. But here's a surprising truth that often goes overlooked: some of those seemingly harmless, even beneficial, foods could actually be quietly contributing to, or even worsening, that very numbness and discomfort you're experiencing in your feet. It's a secret that most people aren't aware of, and it often involves something as innocent as fruit. We've been told fruit is good for us, and generally, it is. But for those of us navigating the delicate balance of nerve health, especially in our senior years, certain choices can make a significant difference, not always for the better. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 specific fruits that, while healthy in general, might be subtly sabotaging your nerve health and contributing to that unsettling numbness in your feet. We'll explore why they can be problematic and, most importantly, what you can do about it. It's not about cutting out all fruit, far from it, but rather making informed choices that support your comfort and mobility. So, stay with me, because understanding this can be a game changer for your daily comfort. Watch to the end for something truly surprising about how small dietary changes can bring big relief, perhaps even more than you imagine. Let's dive right into our list, starting with a fruit many of us enjoy, sometimes without realizing its impact, especially when it's at its sweetest, the very ripe banana. Now, a banana is a powerhouse of potassium and energy, and in moderation. It's a perfectly good part of a balanced diet. But when a banana gets those lovely brown spots, it means the starches have converted almost entirely into simple sugars. And while that makes them wonderfully sweet and easy to digest, it also means they can cause a rapid spike in your blood sugar levels for someone who already has challenges with blood sugar regulation, or who is predisposed to conditions like diabetes, which is a leading cause of peripheral neuropathy, that numbness and tingling in the feet. These sudden sugar surges can be quite detrimental. Think of it this way: your nerves are delicate pathways, and they rely on a steady, calm environment to function properly. When your blood sugar shoots up quickly, it's like a jolt to that system. Over time, these repeated spikes can damage the tiny blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to your nerves. When those vessels are compromised, your nerves don't get the nourishment they need, and they begin to falter, leading to those uncomfortable sensations of numbness, tingling, or even pain in your feet. It's a slow erosion, and the cumulative effect of these sugar spikes can really take a toll. So, what's the actionable step here? It's not about banishing bananas entirely, but rather about choosing them wisely. Opt for bananas that are still a bit greener, not overly ripe. They have a lower glycemic index, meaning their sugars are released more slowly into your bloodstream. And when you do enjoy a banana, consider pairing it with something that slows down sugar absorption, like a handful of almonds, a dollop of Greek yogurt, or a spoon of nut butter. The protein and healthy fats will help temper that sugar spike, giving your nerves a much smoother ride. A small, slightly green banana enjoyed alongside a few walnuts makes for a much more foot-friendly snack than a large, spotty one eaten on its own. Now that we've talked about how those sweet bananas can sometimes be a bit too much for your feet, let's turn our attention to another common fruit that often flies under the radar because of its delicious, juicy sweetness: mangoes. Just like very ripe bananas, mangoes are incredibly high in natural sugars, especially when they're at peak ripeness. A single medium-sized mango can contain upwards of 45 grams of sugar, which is significantly more than many other fruits, and often more than you'd get from a few cookies. The problem isn't just the quantity of sugar, but how quickly it's absorbed into your system. When you eat a lot of easily digestible sugars, whether from fruit or other sources, your blood glucose levels can surge dramatically. This rapid fluctuation is particularly concerning for your nerve health. Imagine your body's intricate network of nerves, especially those tiny, delicate ones that reach down into your feet and toes, as fine electrical wires. For these wires to transmit signals clearly and efficiently, They need a stable, well-regulated environment. Constant exposure to high levels of sugar in the bloodstream can create a cascade of problems. It can lead to what's called oxidative stress, which essentially means your cells, including your nerve cells, are being damaged at a molecular level. It can also promote inflammation throughout your body, and chronic inflammation is a known culprit in nerve damage and the progression of conditions like neuropathy. This isn't about demonizing mangoes, which are rich in vitamins and antioxidants, but about understanding their sugar density in the context of nerve health, especially if you're already experiencing numbness or have a predisposition to conditions that affect your nerves. So, how can you enjoy the tropical delight of mangoes without inadvertently worsening the numbness in your feet? The key lies in portion control and thoughtful pairing. Instead of eating a whole large mango, which can be tempting, try having just a few slices. And instead of eating those slices on their own, combine them with something that provides fiber, protein, or healthy fats. For example, add a small amount of mango to a smoothie with a handful of spinach and a scoop of protein powder. Or enjoy a few cubes alongside a handful of unsalted nuts. This combination helps slow down the sugar absorption, mitigating that rapid blood sugar spike and giving your nerves a more stable environment. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate these healthy foods, but to consume them in a way that truly supports your well-being, keeping those feet comfortable and mobile. Now that we've discussed how those sweet bananas and juicy mangoes can sometimes be a bit too much for your feet, let's turn our attention to another common fruit that often flies under the radar: grapes. These little bursts of sweetness are so easy to pop into your mouth, one after another. And that's precisely where the problem lies for your nerve health. Grapes are relatively high in sugar, and because they're small and don't require much chewing, it's incredibly easy to overconsume them without realizing just how much sugar you're taking in. A cup of grapes, which can disappear in minutes, contains about 23 grams of sugar. Or when you eat a large quantity of grapes, especially on an empty stomach, that sugar hits your bloodstream very quickly. This rapid influx of sugar can trigger those uncomfortable blood sugar spikes we've been talking about, which, over time, can contribute to the very nerve damage that causes numbness in your feet. It's not just the amount of sugar, but the speed at which it's absorbed that matters. Your body has to work harder to manage these sudden sugar surges. And for your delicate nerve endings, this can lead to stress and inflammation. Imagine your nerves as sensitive instruments. They prefer a calm, steady environment, not a roller coaster of highs and lows. So, how can you enjoy grapes without inadvertently contributing to the numbness in your feet? Moderation is absolutely key. Instead of eating them by the handful, count out a small portion, perhaps 10 to 12 grapes, and savor each one. Better yet, try pairing them with a source of protein or healthy fat, like a small piece of cheese or a few almonds. This combination helps to slow down the sugar absorption, creating a more gradual rise in blood sugar and reducing the strain on your body. Another excellent strategy is to consider swapping out some of your grape consumption for berries. Think blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries. These berries are generally lower in sugar and higher in fiber, making them a more foot-friendly choice that still satisfies your sweet tooth and provides a wealth of antioxidants. Next up on our list is another seemingly innocent fruit that can pack a sugary punch, especially depending on how it's prepared and consumed: pineapple. Fresh pineapple is a fantastic source of vitamin C and contains an enzyme called bromelain, which has some anti-inflammatory properties. However, just like grapes and mangoes, pineapple, particularly when very ripe, or even more so when it's canned in syrup or consumed as juice, is very high in sugar. A cup of fresh pineapple can contain around 16 grams of sugar, but a cup of pineapple in heavy syrup can easily double that, and pineapple juice is even more concentrated. When you consume these high sugar forms of pineapple, you're essentially giving your blood sugar a quick and powerful boost. For seniors who are prone to nerve issues or have conditions like diabetes, these sharp sugar spikes are a concern. Consistent high blood sugar levels can lead to a process called glycation, where sugar molecules attach to proteins and fats, forming harmful compounds that can damage tissues throughout your body, including your nerve cells and the tiny blood vessels that nourish them. This damage can manifest as that persistent numbness, tingling, or even burning sensation in your feet. Furthermore, while bromelain in pineapple can be anti-inflammatory for some. For others, particularly in large quantities or processed forms, the high sugar content can override any potential benefits by contributing to overall systemic inflammation, which, as we've discussed, is detrimental to nerve health. So, how do you navigate pineapple safely if you enjoy pineapple? Always opt for fresh, raw pineapple over canned or juiced versions, and pay close attention to your portion size. A small serving, perhaps a few cubes, enjoyed as part of a balanced meal rather than a standalone snack, is a much safer bet. Pairing it with a protein source, like grilled chicken or fish, or a handful of nuts, can help temper the sugar's impact. Think of it as a treat to be enjoyed mindfully, rather than a staple fruit to be consumed in large quantities. Finally, let's talk about dried fruits, specifically items like dates, raisins, and dried apricots. These are often touted as healthy snacks, full of fiber and nutrients, but for individuals concerned about nerve numbness, they can be a major hidden culprit. The issue isn't that they're inherently bad, but rather their concentrated sugar content. When fruit is dried, its water content is removed, leaving behind a much smaller, denser package of sugar. For example, a single medjool date can contain about 16 grams of sugar, and a small box of raisins can have over 25 grams. It's incredibly easy to eat many more dried fruits than you would fresh fruit, because they're small, portable, and don't fill you up as quickly. This high concentration of sugar, consumed in relatively large amounts, leads to very rapid and significant spikes in blood sugar. These dramatic fluctuations are particularly stressful for your nerve health. As we've discussed, stable blood sugar is crucial for healthy nerves. Constant high levels and rapid drops can lead to nerve damage over time by impairing blood flow to the nerves and promoting inflammation. Think of it like this. Your fresh apple is mostly water and fiber, with sugar spread out, making it a slow release. Your dried apple is like removing all that water and fiber, leaving just the concentrated sugar. It's like eating candy, but without the immediate perception of it being unhealthy, because it came from a fruit. Many people grab a handful of raisins thinking it's a wholesome snack, not realizing they're consuming the sugar equivalent of several cookies in a tiny portion. So, what's the best approach here? Treat dried fruits like candy, an occasional, very small treat rather than a regular snack. If you absolutely crave a date, have just one or two, and pair it with a handful of nuts or seeds to slow down the sugar absorption. Better yet, focus on fresh fruits that have higher water content and fiber, like berries, apples, or pears, which will provide more sustained energy and a gentler impact on your blood sugar levels, helping to protect those delicate nerves in your feet. We've covered quite a few fruits that, while generally healthy, might be working against your efforts to keep your feet feeling good due to their impact on blood sugar and inflammation. But there's one more that surprises many people, especially because it's so refreshing and hydrating. Watermelon. You might think, how could something that's mostly water be bad for my feet? And it's true. Watermelon is incredibly hydrating and contains beneficial compounds. However, despite its high water content, watermelon has a relatively high glycemic index (GI). The glycemic index measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar levels. Watermelon's high GI means that the natural sugars it contains, primarily fructose and glucose, are absorbed very rapidly into your bloodstream, leading to a quick and pronounced spike in blood sugar. This effect is amplified because it's so easy to eat large quantities of watermelon. Imagine enjoying a large slice or two on a warm day. You're not just getting hydration, you're also getting a significant, fast-acting dose of sugar. For individuals who are already experiencing numbness or tingling in their feet, this rapid surge in blood sugar can exacerbate existing nerve irritation or contribute to further damage over time. Your nerves thrive in an environment where blood sugar is steady and well controlled. Frequent, sharp spikes create stress on your entire circulatory system, including the tiny blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to your peripheral nerves. When these vessels are compromised, your nerves become starved, leading to those uncomfortable sensations of numbness and discomfort. It is not about avoiding watermelon entirely, but understanding its glycemic impact and how to enjoy it wisely. So, what's the best way to enjoy this summer favorite without putting your foot health at risk? The key is portion control. And timing, instead of a huge wedge. Opt for a small, controlled slice, perhaps no larger than a deck of cards, and instead of eating it as a standalone snack, which allows the sugar to hit your system fastest, try enjoying your small portion of watermelon as part of a meal that includes protein and fiber. For instance, a small slice alongside a protein-rich lunch like grilled chicken and a leafy green salad will help to slow down the overall sugar absorption, creating a much gentler rise in blood sugar. This way, you can still enjoy the refreshing taste without giving your delicate nerves an unnecessary jolt. So, we've explored 6 fruits: the very ripe banana, juicy mango, easy-to-eat grapes, sweet pineapple, concentrated dried fruits, and even refreshing watermelon. That, when consumed in large quantities or at their sweetest, can contribute to the numbness and discomfort in your feet by impacting your blood sugar and overall nerve health. It's not about demonizing any particular food, but rather empowering you with knowledge. Each of these fruits offers valuable nutrients, but for those of us navigating the delicate landscape of nerve health as we age, understanding their glycemic impact is absolutely vital. The secret isn't to eliminate them from your diet, but to embrace moderation. Choose less ripe options where possible. Pay close attention to portion sizes, and thoughtfully pair them with foods that help stabilize your blood sugar, like healthy fats and proteins. Remember, small, consistent changes can truly make a significant difference to your comfort and overall well-being. It's about making informed choices that support your body's amazing capacity to heal and thrive, not about deprivation. Your comfort, your mobility, and your overall quality of life can be profoundly improved by these mindful adjustments to what you eat. Have you noticed any particular foods affecting your numbness or tingling? Perhaps you've found a clever way to enjoy your favorite fruits without the negative impact. Share your experiences and tips in the comments below. Your insights could be incredibly helpful to someone else in our community who is struggling with similar issues. If you found this video helpful, if it opened your eyes to new possibilities for managing your comfort, please give it a thumbs up. It truly helps us reach more people who can benefit from this kind of practical, empowering advice. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more helpful content on living your best. Most comfortable life at every age. We're here to support you on your journey to vibrant health. Your health is your most valuable asset, and every step you take towards better understanding your body empowers you to live a more comfortable, vibrant life. Keep learning, keep thriving, and remember, you deserve to feel your best every single day.